All right, my friends, Devon here with Backcountry Exposure and Ben from Knafs.
What is up, guys?
We're gonna do a little Battle of the Backpackers, Eric Hansen style.
I'm worried I'm gonna lose this.
It's not a win or lose situation, but we're gonna do a comparison of gear loadouts here because as somebody like myself that does a lot of backpacking, I guess Ben would call me
Probably. I think you're a pro.
a pro backpacker. Does that exist?
I think it does, yeah. I mean, you make your living off of backpacking. Is that not professional?
That works. So, pro backpacker versus...
I get out maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year.
Okay.
So
So he's got some cool gear that isn't the newest stuff.
Definitely
which I
not.
think is really fun for this conversation to see. You can get out for a long time over many, many years and use the same gear.
yeah,
But I'm curious to see what you've got. So we're going to break
Totally.
down what he's got as well as what knife you're carrying.
I got
He's
lots
the
of
knife
them.
guy, so we got to talk about knives, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should we do it?
Let's go.
Okay. All right, Ben. Let's start with your backpack. What do you got?
Absolutely.
What do you got here?
Osprey Ether 60, 14, 15 years old, and it still works like a charm. So I just keep using it. Down here, sleep system. I've got a Sierra Designs 0 degree down bag. I use one bag all year long. Some people have multiple bags. I use this thing. If you get hot, you just stick your leg out the side. Instant cooling.
What do you like about that backpack? If you've had it for so long, like something's got to be good about it, right?
It just works, man. Like you can attach things on the outside. Like basically you can get anything you want in here, and it's not too complex, not too many bells and whistles, and it just works. I love their almighty guarantee. I've had to replace some buckles over the years, and it's just good. I think that's a big thing about my gear is I have picked things that will last a long time and that I don't have to be upgrading all the time. And we're on year 15, so far
What
so
is
good.
that called? Planned obsolescence?
Yeah. There is no planned obsolescence. I will probably keep using this till I'm 90.
Nice.
But I just stuffed the sleeping bag right in the bottom. I've gotten to the point of like creature comforts, so I bring a Thermarest pillow, just a little foam guy. And
Do you find that like provides enough support? Does it
here's the deal.
smush down? Is it like...
Here is the deal. I have just embraced the fact that camping is uncomfortable. Like, and I think there are things you can do to make it more comfortable, but is it good? No, it's not good. Like, I feel like camping sleep systems, like, I have not found the holy grail. And
So it's type 2 fun every time you go out?
it's adequate.
It's
right?
adequate, okay.
The ideal
Okay.
fun is you take a cot and you take like a 6-inch foam and you just cozy it up.
Like the guy we saw on the trail yesterday.
Yes, he did that. I did not do that.
Yeah, he was all set.
Yeah. So I do that, and then the other sleep system is just a Climate Static 5. I think I won this at a work party, straight up, and have not updated it.
Well, so tell the story of why you're using that, because I found it really...
okay, so
really interesting.
so the guy that started Climate, I think his name is Corey Thole. I met him at Outdoor Retailer one year, and he was super kind. I had some questions about like life and Masters of Business Administration, MBA stuff, and he took like 20 minutes with me and chatted with me. So I've felt
Outdoor Retailer, right?
at Outdoor Retailer, so trade show. So I've always felt like indebted to Climate. And Devon this morning was like, "You've paid your debt, man." It's not a good sleeping pad. I will say it the way it is. It does not give you any hip support, shoulder support. It's not great.
And do you sleep warm on it?
You definitely sleep warm, yes. But here's the deal, and you'll notice like my entire system is like stuff that I have. Like I am not the highest performance gear person. I look at what I own. If I don't own it, I'll go find something. But if I have this, I use it. I think there's a good example in that. This is I don't even know the model number. This is a Glowmaster stove. I think I got it when I was 13 in Boy Scouts.
You still got the instructions, so that's
The
good.
instructions, yeah, I don't know what that is. But it's a little broken, but it still works. So I kind of subscribe to the camp of like, if you have something, use it. Use it till it dies, absolutely dies. So I don't know, I use that. I just upgraded my water filtration to a Sawyer system. I have questions. I also brought the Katadyn Be-Free as well. I used to carry a Katadyn big old pump for years and years, and somebody was like, why are you carrying that? It's like 5 pounds. I'm like, I don't know, what else is there? And they introduced me to this stuff. So that's kind of second round on that. Clothes, I made these stuff sacks about 15 years ago. I put them in all my stuff sacks. Food goes in stuff sack.
I like it.
Video equipment over here. So I bring a tripod, camera, spare batteries. This thing is kind of fun. This is what I would call my possibles sack. If you're familiar with mountain men, they always had a possibles bag with all their junk in it. This is like sunscreen and toothpaste and a lighter and bathroom system and like a very small first aid kit. I keep that all in here, and I use this more for hiking than backpacking. So I just move it from my hiking bag to the backpacking bag, and I just kind of try to keep it as a general survival kit. If anything were to hit the fan, I don't think I could self-rescue totally, but I think we'd have a fighting chance. So that's what I keep in there.
I like it.
And then other than that...
And there's earplugs.
Oh yeah, this is an important thing.
Earplugs.
Yeah, 2 sets of earplugs, because everybody needs a set of earplugs occasionally. Moleskin, an ace bandage, just kind of some small things there. And then I've become a chair camper, a chair backpacker. I don't know, you get to camp and you just want to sit down. And you don't want to have to find a rock or a... There's Hamilton sitting on a rock.
Sitting on my rock.
And it's not a rock is not a bad option. But dang it, sometimes I just want to relax. So I've become a chair guy. I should probably get a lighter one because this one's heavy. But other than that, I run Nalgene bottles. I bring Crocs because they're good for river crossings if you got to do that. And then I run a 1-pot system with an Ole Camp pot and Mountain House, whatever works with the 1-pot system, and then a Snow Peak spoon. So.
And then for your tent,
Sharing a tent with Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't. This is a big Agnes something.
Is it a copper spur, Hamilton?
We don't even know what it is.
Let's see. Does it not say on here?
but
Frying pan.
three-person size, so
It's a frying pan SL3. So
frying pan SL3.
It's been awesome. It's like a 3-man, pretty lightweight, great for. I mean, I'm usually camping with my wife, so a little more room than just 2 people. It's great.
I think it's interesting that you don't know the model number, and I actually think that's
I did say frying pan.
Well, but you didn't
That was with
off the bat, right?
With high
no,
confidence.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because if you're not like a deep gearhead, some of this stuff just you're like, I have a tent, it works, I use it. Are you upgrading every year? No, not at all. That's kind of how I approach gear. Is like, what do I have? How can I use it long term? Is this tent better than mine? Yes. Is Devon's sleep system better than mine? Absolutely. But also, I'm here. And I think that's the biggest part about backpacking for me is like just getting out with what you have and having a good time with it.
I was really looking forward to that because I always find it interesting to see the approach that everybody has, especially if you have some experience.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with people that don't have any experience, and so it's like, I don't know what to bring. You knew what to bring. I didn't have to question you on.
Well, and I could go out and spend $1,000, $1,500 and upgrade all of this. I just 3 times a year, a little bit of pain from the pounds.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's go through my gear. Okay, my gear. A lot of what I've got on this trip is new stuff that I've never used before, which kind of goes against the grain of what we always talk about, of like, don't take brand new gear into the field until you've tested it, because what if it doesn't work and fails and such. But I'm here to test gear, here to see what works and what doesn't. So I guess let's start with my backpack. I shoved a lot of gear into this 40-liter pack. This is the Deuter Air Contact Ultra 40. Pretty cool design, minus one big flaw. And I was forced to use this guy, which is the 1 bottle, and I hated it. I'm not using it today. That's why it's coiled up. But you don't have access to water bottles on the side with the pack on. Like, it's really hard to get the bottles in after you've taken the bottle out. Like, it's easy to just like push it up the side and like grab it, but it's really hard to get it back in. So that's a really big downside to this, but super comfortable. Has a nice suspension system. Carried about 33 pounds of gear, no problem yesterday. So that's that. But then sleep system. So I don't subscribe to the idea that hammocks are the most comfortable way to sleep in the backcountry. Anytime I've slept in a hammock, I don't get really good sleep, and last night was okay. But this is the Superior Gear Starlight hammock with their comforter that just clips in. It's a really cool snap system. So like instead of having to have bungees and stuff that go on and connect to your suspension, like it all clips in and doesn't like shift around and stuff, and that was actually really nice. I slept very, very warm last night and I enjoyed it. But my top quilt is the Zenbivy Ultralight in the 25 degree rating. And then the hammock also has this cool little gear shelf, particularly good for holding your underwear. That's what's in there right now, and my filter. Up here in this snakeskin is the tarp that's also from Superior Gear. Beautiful night last night. Didn't have to worry about rain in any way, so I just put it up basically in case it got cold and I needed more protection that way. But it was a beautiful night last night. It's fantastic. I'll show you this. This is one of my favorite new pieces of gear. This is the Claymore Cap-On 40B lantern and headlamp. Fantastic. Since we were talking about pillows, this would be a good pillow for you, Ben.
Okay.
This is the Nemo pillow. It's inflatable, but it also has a piece of memory foam. So it's
How much?
45.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible. So that's a good option. This ground sheet is nice. I'm glad I brought this. This is a ground sheet that I sewed myself that I might carry in my my Etsy shop at some point. And then my like cook system and stuff is, well, I have my Nemo Elite chair, and then my cook system, got the Fire Maple Petrol. This pot is phenomenal. It's so good. You have a heat exchanger on the bottom, and then I pair it with my, right now, the Soto not the Amicus, the Windmaster with the Triflex. So it just goes in to those slots right there, makes it super efficient. Really, really good option. And then this is my food bag. Another shameless plug. These are bags that I make myself. So I don't know, I try to like go really minimal. And I noticed that about your setup too. I think sometimes if you don't go out a lot, you tend to like bring a lot of what if type of things, and I don't see that in your system. So that's like well done. I like that. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's like basic clothing stuff, bug repellent, poop kit. I've got my fishing gear, Sawyer squeeze, Canuck Vecto, and then water bottles. I don't really like Nalgene's because they're pretty big to put into a lot of side pockets of backpacks, so I've got these Essentia 1 liter bottles. What do you got question-wise, Ben?
What knives are you carrying?
What knives? That is a good question. So, a couple knives, but because we're here with Ben, who owns Knafs, I've got the Lander. Just a perfect size little folding pocket knife. I like it. Ben designed this. This is his baby.
My baby.
And I got to see what Ben's carrying, because he's got multiple knives.
I normally, like, if I were backpacking
Let's do
for
this.
real, like this is a photo shoot. This is a content production game. So I carry a lot of stuff when I'm doing that. But I've got the Knafs Lander 1 in green micarta. Love micarta. If you're not familiar with micarta, it's basically layers of denim that they resin together, and then it turns into this really nice feeling. And then I have the Lulu. This is all USA made. It's got a Scani grind. I like to bring a fixed blade backpacking because you can baton with it, you can whittle with it. And I designed this one basically for this exact scenario, to be a camp knife, but not super heavy, but also have enough handle there that you're not getting hot spots. And it just works really well. It's not cheap. This is a $230 knife. You could pair this with a nice Nemo $175 chair if that's your vibe. But we run a different, like this one's made in China. It's 70, actually I think we just lowered the price, $65, 230. So we kind of run this range of knives, and Each one serves a different purpose, different steel on this one. This one's a highly stainless 14C28N. This one's MagnaCut, which is also stainless. It's going to hold an edge well and sharpen easily, but I've tested these in the Amazon. They work incredibly well. So I just look at it like I want to design things for adventures like this, and these both do really well for that.
All right, Ben, that was awesome.
Thank
I
you.
think just a good comparison. What was funny is as you started talking about knives, I'm like, okay, there's the nerd. And then as I'm talking about the gear, I'm like, okay, I'm the nerd.
Well, and it's dependent on what you do. Like, you're a professional gear guy. I'm a professional knife gear guy, and so you have to know the gear that you do.
Go check out Knafs. Really cool products. Ben is just awesome as well. He's got the know-how for pretty much everything knife related, and they also create a really interesting kind of sit down in studio conversation with one of his general manager, employee.
We sit down and talk knives and
do the
YouTube thing,
the industry, and it's a really fun show. So you should check that out. I'll link that in the description. But thanks for hanging out.
Dude, thanks, Devon.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man.
Okay, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Check out Knafs, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later, guys.